ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HIM to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text HIM to 321-321. That's HIM to 321-321.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Cole Bartimus. The Florida Panthers left town with a 1-0 overtime victory over the Jackets last night. That now makes 5 losses in a row for the CBJ and 7 losses in their last 8 games. That's terrible. The Jackets will complete the second leg of their back-to-back tonight in Pittsburgh. And we had so much fun with 16 March Madness games yesterday that we're doing it all over again today. We got 3 games happening right now. Baylor and Mississippi State are deep into the second half. Alabama and Robert Morris are just starting the second half. Iowa State and Lipscomb, they're just early into their game. And Memphis and Colorado State are on deck starting at 2 o'clock here about. And a little bit later, the 4-seeded Buckeye women's basketball team will be tipping off in their opening round matchup of the women's bracket. That'll be at 5:30 at the Shot against 13-seed Montana State. This update is brought to you by BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates as low as 9.90% APR with the Visa Platinum Credit Card. You can apply online today at bmifcu.org/Visa.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, final hour of the program. Joe DeLeon, A to Z Sports on the NFL Draft. Get you some insight on the Brownies and Bengals and more at 2:30. The story of the day is certainly the basketball and the tourney and the fact that the black brackets are slightly bleeding for some people. I don't think they had teams going crazy far, but we did have some upsets. You know, you're always going to get that 12-5. Where it comes from, you don't know. And the fact that we got McNeese over Clemson last night by a bucket, and they were killing them the whole game. I mean, they're up 31-13 at half, and they hang on by 2, but they hang on, survive and advance.
Shout out to Amir Orakan, as they're calling him.
That's right.
I love that.
The boomboxer. And then UC San Diego almost took out Michigan. They did not. But we saw Drake take it to Missouri, basically the entire way, and beat them by 10. So that's an 11 over a 6. You had a 10 over a 7 in Arkansas over Kansas. Anything I'm missing? Outside, you know, the games earlier, we kind of, the 8-9s we weren't that worried about. Maybe somebody thought Yale could catch lightning in a bottle again. I didn't. I think A&M's a really good basketball team. They wound up winning by 9. Other than that, Maddie, we're off to today, and we go live to Hollywood Casino Columbus to connect with our good friend Scotty Brackets, Scotty Vegas, who is commandeering a kiosk as we speak, my man. How you feeling?
I'm good, Anthony and Maddie. Here's the deal. You're right. I am standing right in front of a kiosk, and I've got my finger right now on Robert Morris. Again, they're only down 7 right now to Alabama. Guys, this was actually the most bet on game so far today was Alabama Robert Morris. And guess what? The casino here, everybody's losing their mind because almost everybody took Alabama and the points, and they are in trouble right now. They're only up 6.
Yes, Scotty.
What was the spread in that one?
The live spread right now is 14.
The spread before tip on Bama. Robert Morris.
Yeah, you were looking at Alabama minus 23.5.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, so
yep.
They got a lot of work to do, to say the least.
Game.
Yeah, Scotty, because before the game, there was some stuff out there that maybe Grant Nelson would give it a go. He hasn't checked in the game at all, according to the box score. And then Mark Sears, you know, their big-time point guard, he's only got 6 points right now. So Robert Morris cooking up some madness up in Cleveland, that's for sure.
Yeah, a little Bobby Moe. Yeah, I love it. And here's the thing. Once this thing gets close towards the end of the game, everyone here at the casino is generally pulling for the upsets. So if Robert Morris does keep this relatively close, it'll be fun atmosphere. Everybody cheering loudly for good old Bobby Moe. But, again, that was the most bet on game, guys. And I got to tell you, one of the debates that we've had here at the casino sitting at the table is this the absolute best sports weekend of the year? And I say yes. I'm curious on your guys' opinion, because for me, this is number one. Maybe Thanksgiving weekend number two. Where are you guys at?
That's a great question, Scotty. This doesn't really count as a weekend, but I love the combination now of the NBA and the NFL on Christmas Day. Like that to me is becoming the strongest day for me personally. Yeah, the games on Netflix and the NFL, then obviously the NBA schedules all day, every day on Christmas Day. So I'll cheat a little bit and go away from a weekend and hit you with Christmas Day now for me is as good as it gets.
That's a tricky one because if Maddie's bringing holidays into it, Thanksgiving week is pretty big because you have all the rivalry games in college football. You have usually have a pretty huge NFL week that week. You have some college basketball Thanksgiving tournaments with some of the really good matchups. Yeah, I don't think you can beat this. I mean, it's the games all day and all night. And when it kind of gets pared down, it gets a little deflating because you lose. But I'm with you. I don't think anything could beat these 4 straight days. I've got my eye on something tonight. I'll get your feeling on it. And I know you're trying to make a comeback tonight as well. This Akron Zips team getting 14.5 against Arizona, I like it. I'll take the 14.5. It just seems a bit high. Arizona's not a very good three-point shooting team. Where are you on that one? Are you riding that with me?
I love that you brought up Akron because I'm 100% with you. Again, it's 14 points. Standing at the kiosk right now, they're plus 650 on the money line. I think I might sprinkle a little bit on the upset because they are really balanced across the board on that starting lineup, right? It's not one superstar. It's 5 guys who can all score. And so I do like Akron. I think that one's interesting. The other game I'm keeping an eye on, and this game is a late night tip, is Xavier and Illinois. Because Xavier, to me, feels like they're playing a little bit on house money. Some people kind of counted them out when they got down in that Texas game in the first 4. They make a nice comeback. They win that game outright. And Illinois has been one of the weirdest teams in college basketball to me because a lot of people think they are the most talented or amongst the most talented in the Big Ten. Didn't have a great year. They've had a lot of weird things happen, a lot of illnesses, injuries, things like that. And I think that that's another one where you might start looking at the money line with Xavier. But to answer your initial question, I'm with you on the plus 14 on Akron. I like that one a lot. And how about this, guys? The Big Ten, 4-0 so far, including that Michigan win last night. And in fact, I was asking the guys here at the casino, what was the game that they won the most money on yesterday? And believe it or not, it was people who wanted to fade Michigan. So the sports book yesterday won the most money on people fading Michigan and taking UC San Diego. And that thing came down to the very end.
Scotty, I want to ask you about St. John's and how far you had them going in this tournament. Because down there in the Western region, you had Bill Self and Calipari getting after each other last night. Kansas now, Arkansas won that game last night, not Kansas. So St. John's, I know it's Rick Pitino. It's always some stuff floating around him. But how far did you have them going in the tourney, Scotty?
So, Matty, good question, because here's the deal for me. The team that I was most excited to bet for a futures last week when I was in Vegas was Florida. All right, they were looking good, and they caught fire in the SEC tournament. And then what happened was the bracket came out, and another team I liked was, of course, St. John's. Then that bracket comes out, and you start reading off the teams that are in Florida's region. And number 2 is St. John's, and that is a ridiculously dangerous team. Great defense, can score all over the place. We know they have a great coach. And then the other thing in that region, too, is you have Maryland. And I would argue, guys, that I think Maryland is the best team in the Big Ten. And I know they ended up with a 4 seed. I think they had the most potential to do the most damage in the tournament out of the entire conference. Because if you look at it, they were really good. The games they lost were all like buzzer beater games. They lost like a half court shot to Michigan State. They are ridiculously talented. So that region is just so tough, Matty. That's why I have a hard time having St. John's come out of it, because I love Florida and Maryland both in that same region.
Yeah, that's a great point. Listen, Maryland's very, very good defensively. Probably the best defensive team, certainly in the Big Ten. You did get a little help in that region with Drake taking out Missouri, so you got a little bit of help there. I don't know what you thought of Mizzou. They were a hit and miss this year, but and then the other team that's in that's kind of a trendy is that Texas Tech team.
Yeah, you know what I'm finding kind of interesting so far, guys, is the middling pack of the SEC. What did we hear all year long was, oh, the SEC is so deep. 14 teams should get in. Oh, the SEC is so good, not just at the top, but they're also really deep. Well, guess what we're seeing? Missouri losing to Drake. Now you see Mississippi State look bad. You're seeing multiple games now where the SEC has not looked fantastic. And so maybe you're starting to question. So I'm kind of looking across the board at some of those middle-of-the-pack SEC teams that I'm talking about, like Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt today plays St. Mary's. They're a slight underdog. Maybe we overvalued the SEC a little bit. Believe it or not, I know it means more in the SEC, but it kind of feels like it might be about time to fade those middle-of-the-pack SEC teams as we go.
Scotty, every Friday, on the program, we do Under Pressure in 1 o'clock hour. I want to throw this at you. Looking at the field of head coaches in the tournament this year, which head coach do you believe is under the most pressure this March?
Oh, my goodness. That is such a good question, Matty. Most pressure. Gosh, you got to look at maybe Rick Barnes at Tennessee. That's a school that just consistently has been really good, but has not gotten the Final Fours. So I would say there's a lot of pressure under Rick Barnes. You got to look at some of the one seeds out there too. And, I think everybody's looking at Florida as the favorite right now. Florida, Auburn. Gosh, you got to think a little golden pressure. The fact that Florida is in this position. That's a great question. I'm going to stick with Rick Barnes just because he has not been able to get Tennessee to a Final Four, and this is a team that can get there.
Yeah. Listen, I think it's a good answer. It's weird because, we're sitting here in Columbus, Ohio, and putting pressure on guys to get past Elite Eights. But I do understand what you're saying because they are that good. You know what I thought you were going to say when he asked you that question, which I thought was great? I thought you were going to drop a Bruce Pearl on us because I just feel like, that's a team that certainly has what it takes. They've struggled going in, 3 losses in 4 games, and he said that his team, he's trying to downplay it. They're not even a no-brainer to make the second round, and certainly I know you teased them down. They didn't cover for you. They won, but Big Brucey certainly has got his task to get past Sparty to get to a Final Four.
Oh, you know me, Anthony. Once you screw me in the bed, I hate you. So, yes, I am really angry with Auburn right now. And, watching that team yesterday, because I was all in on that game, I was watching every minute of it, and they just went through like an 8-minute stretch in the first half where it felt like they didn't care. They got up 13 points, and then they got so lackadaisical, and then, they showed up, they won the game, whatever. But I love watching the one seeds and seeing how much they care basically every single 4-minute stretch, right? So you look at last year, UConn. We knew UConn was a great team, but they covered every single game of the tournament. And so they looked good every single game. And Auburn, you watch it, and it was a little bit of a letdown. And then you watch Houston. And Houston was dominant throughout their game. And then now I'm very interested to see what Duke does. They're going to get ready to start here shortly. Are they going to be dominant throughout their game? And then, of course, Florida, too. So that's, watching these one seeds, they're going to win the game, but it's kind of interesting. Are they going to cover these big numbers? Because if you look last year, UConn did it all the way throughout the tournament, and they were clearly the best team.
All right, great stuff, my man. Hopefully the crowd's good out there. More games tonight, and it's a Friday night. So you should have a pretty good crowd out there.
Oh, man, I will tell you, there is not a single seat available. We've got these shirts that say best weekend of the year. We're giving them out. It's crazy town here. I love it. I love every minute. Best weekend of the year, guys.
All right. Well done, Scotty. Good luck on the bets. Enjoy the weekend.
You.
That's our man, Scotty Vegas. And I'll tell you, the coach that's under pressure at the moment is Nate Oates.
Nate Oates.
Bama's up 4.
Yeah, well, about 11 minutes to go in the second half. We're giving away a $50 Skyline Chili gift card right now. 614-821-9710 is CB's hotline number. We do it every Friday, Under Pressure. If you can name one candidate that I had on the pressure list this week, you will get the $50 gift card to Skyline Chili. Again, our number is 614-821-9710.
We come back with pre-snap reads, and speaking of pressure, one guy has one NFL team in the cooker. We'll tell you who that is next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
The best matchup this month is you in a new ride. From Coughlin Ford, get a new 2024 Ford F-150 with prices as low as $45,940. Or buy a new 2024 Super Duty starting at under $49,000 during Ford Truck Month. Visit CoughlinFord.com.
All factory rebates to dealer. All prior sales excluded. In-stock units only. No security deposit required. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/25.
This is a Craver service announcement. Stop what you're doing and get 10 cheese sliders for a new low price of just $7.99. Your choice of melty American, spicy jalapeno, or cheddar cheese. Only $7.99 for 10 cheese sliders. White Castle. Follow your crave.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
1-800-GOT-JUNK makes space for possibilities.
When our clean, shiny truck arrives, it's the sign of a new beginning, a clean start, a breath of fresh air.
All the animals start giggling, a rainbow appears, and music fills the air.
Your best friend calls with happy news. Every table has fresh flowers on it, and your nights are full of candlelight.
We bring the springtime.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Montana, Bettis, Horning, and Brown, some of the greatest of all time, kicked off their careers in South Bend. You can celebrate Notre Dame football's impact on the professional game by visiting the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton to experience Gold Helmet to Gold Jacket March 14th through April 27th. And register to win our grand prize at 971thefan.com/Gold Jacket. One winner will receive 2 tickets to the Hall of Fame game, enshrinement ceremony, and the Hall of Fame Museum. That's 971thefan.com/Gold Jacket.
Spring forward, Columbus, with the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling Services. We're here to thaw you out with this limited time offer. Get up to $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer is too good to pass up. The Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling now together to serve you better with $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer won't last. Call us today, 614-232-2222. That's 614-232-2222.
Bobby Carpenter once sold workout equipment on QVC Canada. There's no joke here. That actually happened. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
When you're a AAA member, we do the hard stuff for you. So picture this. You're taking a road trip through the mountains at night, and you run out of gas. Do you, A, call AAA, or B, walk 29 miles to the nearest gas station in the pouring rain?
A?
How about this? You need auto insurance. You could A, pick AAA to find the best coverage for you, or B, spend so much time researching insurance jargon that you might as well have gotten a law degree.
Yeah, I'm going with A.
Right. Okay, you're booking a vacation. You can A, have AAA plan it for you, or B, stress so hard about layovers and getting to your cruise that you need a vacation from booking your vacation.
That's easy. A, AAA.
On the plus side, get more with AAA. Go to AAA.com/plus side.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It is sunny out there right now, but the clouds will start to move on in as we head into the afternoon. Today's high 53. Saturday, look for partly sunny skies with a high of 50. Sunday morning, we are dry. Sunday afternoon and night, we're looking at some showers. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Bet365 time, Maddie.
Let's talk about it because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. Bet365 has launched a new sign-up offer. Listen closely, folks, because this is really cool. You bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets, whether your bet wins or loses. Customers will receive bonus bets after signing up. I'm speaking this into existence. I put the man on the pressure list earlier. Our guy, Marchenko, give me an anytime goal tonight against Pittsburgh. This is the only game on the NHL schedule. 2 nights, so Marchenko plus 230 anytime goal. Going to get him back on track.
All right, I'll stick with the play I had before, and I'm getting the hook on Bet365. So while Scotty was saying you're getting the Zips and 14 at Hollywood Casino, you're getting 14.5 with the Zips on Bet365. So I'll take that hook. I'm not underplaying Arizona because they're actually a pretty good team, and they've played a very tough schedule. But I like the way the Zips are playing, and they have a star. They have the MAC Player of the Year, so I'm going to go with the Zips plus 14.5.
Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right. I know this is pre-snap, but we'll give you a quick update because I know people are looking for it. This Mississippi State-Baylor game has become a game again. Baylor's up 4 with $1:19 to go. Now they're up 1. Oh, wow, Mississippi State's back within 1. Let me get the old update here on the old computer. Come on, ESPN.com. Keep up with this stuff. Bama up 2 on Robert Morris with 7:44 to go.
Yeah, and I just saw that Grant Nelson finally checked into the game for Alabama, so we'll see if he can provide anything. He's banged up right now, but he's been a nice offensive piece for them this year. But yeah, Nate Oates and the gang, not where they want to be right now. Very uncomfortable if you're an Alabama fan, or if you're like me and you had them going very, very far in your bracket.
Yeah, I'm somewhat rooting against them, not rooting against you in particular. Just going with my theory of if I don't have them in the final, I want them out of here.
You had them. I got them getting to the title game. You got them going how far?
Final 4.
Yeah, a lot of people too.
But that's why I say it. I'm okay with getting out of them because most people have them.
But this just reiterates why people thought Duke had the easiest path.
If Bama goes down, if the 2 seed goes down in their half,
absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be nice.
No doubt.
For you and me. All right, we'll get back to it. So this is not new news that if you click on a quarterback, your trajectory changes so dramatically. And one season with Jaden Daniels, and all of a sudden you start approaching your offseason differently, Matty, acquisitions, different urgency. And you think about what Washington has done by hitting on the quarterback. You trade for Deebo Samuel and Laramie Tunsil. You retain Bobby Wagner and Zach Ertz. The defense is certainly a concern, and it should be. They were not good, very close to the bottom. But the pressure is on Washington now to continue this. I don't think they'd run from this pressure. They felt it. They were rising up to it. And this is Keyshawn. Keyshawn Johnson talked about that whatever you thought their ceiling was, it's now the new floor.
They're going to be better. And this is why they went out and got Larry Tunsil. This is why they went and got Deebo Samuel. This is the reason they're signing the players that they signed, because there are ahead of the curve. They're in front of where they thought they would be 1,000 times over. So now they get to Philly in the NFC Championship game, a few plays here, they're in the Super Bowl. And they know that. They said in the offseason, these are the moves that we need to make us better, to get us over the hump, only in our second year. Anything short of an NFC Championship appearance for Jaden Daniels in year 2 is a complete failure. And I know it's a complete failure because they're already there.
Yeah.
You don't go out and get a 5-time Pro Bowl left tackle unless you believe we right there. You don't trade for Deebo Samuel unless you believe we right there. And they got money, they got draft picks. Anything less than that, though, is a complete failure in the NFC Championship.
Anything less would be uncivilized.
I don't agree with that.
It's strong. It's too much.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Like, it's just the NFL has shown us usually things don't happen that way, to where you reach a certain level right out of the gate and you stay there. Sometimes there's regression. I mean, the sport is just an absolute beast on these guys' bodies. We all know that. So avoiding the injury stuff is always a shot in the dark. I think if I were a Washington fan, my expectation would be to be in the hunt for the division this year and to get back to the postseason. Like, let's just continue to build that way. Mahomes is a one-on-one guy to where he can come out of the gate and win all these Super Bowls and host all these AFC Championship games. Like, I just don't think that's the case for a lot of guys. And we just saw this happen with C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans, right? They come out his rookie year and he's just cooking everybody. And then you get to year 2 and the league learns more about you as a quarterback and throws things at you that are, catered to get right after your weaknesses. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was some regression from Washington this year. That doesn't mean that they're going to completely whiff on a postseason appearance, but within their own division as the Super Bowl champs, and some teams around the NFC have done some good things. So, yeah, I'm not with Keyshawn on that, AR.
I'm not either. I think that he's forgetting a couple very vital things, as Robert Morris has just taken the lead on Bama with 7 minutes to go. What he's not taking into account is that the Super Bowl champs are in their division. Yeah. That's number one.
Right.
He just said if they don't make an NFC title game, it's a complete failure. Well, guess what? One team is probably already slotted for it in their minds, the Eagles. Mm-hmm. And so that leaves one spot. And so last I checked, Detroit is still in the NFC. And he's probably right, and that the next team would be them. So we'll see what happens with the Niners if they collapse or bounce back. You have to assume they'll bounce back. Like you said, nobody knows. Packers are certainly a team. He's not wrong in this sense that the NFC kind of drops off.
That's why if he would have said anything, if they don't get to the playoffs, it's a failure, I would have been like, okay, I can rock with that. Getting 4 quarters away from the Super Bowl.
Because they're probably not going to win their division.
They're not going to be the betting favorite. That's for sure.
So if they don't get a home playoff game right away, like, I just feel like he was just a hair strong. It's just a complete failure if you don't make an NFC title game. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll see. And I know he's going on the hypothetical that everybody stays healthy and what they have. Their defense was pretty trashy, and the offense carried it, and they're getting better, certainly. But, yeah, I mean, comparing it to the AFC with Kansas City, your Ravens, the Bills, the Bengals, hopefully they'll come back.
Yeah.
So I like his conviction of it, but it just seemed a little strong.
I like their all-season, too. I really do like their all-season because it's about Jaden Daniels, and they've done a good job of building around them, especially when you think you've hit on a guy on the offensive line like Laramie Tunsil. It is a bit of a head-scratcher for me, AR, that being Houston wanted to move on from him. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like one of those things, like, what do they know? I don't know. Maybe it comes down to financial stuff, but to get rid of a left tackle who they paid at a pretty high clip down there in Houston and shipped him over to Washington. Maybe it was just, the draft compensation was too good to pass up. I don't know. But hopefully, for Jaden's sake, they got a guy that can block for him, for years to come. Because if that's the case, I think that duo of Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel is going to be able to do a lot of damage this year.
That is today's pre-snap read. We're going to come back in 2 minutes, talk to our friend Joe DeLeon, A to Z Sports in the NFL Draft, and see what he has the Browns doing at 2, staying, picking, or trading out We will ask him next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Start 2025 with significant growth and earning potential at Uline. Interview for warehouse roles at Uline's March hiring event in Etna, Ohio. Earn reliable income starting from $25 an hour with a $2 night shift increase. And get full health and retirement benefits on day one. Don't wait. Start building a long-term career at a growing company. Sign up for your warehouse interview on Saturday, March 22nd in Etna at uline.jobs. That's uline.jobs.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Miss a minute of Rothman and Ice? Check out the podcast.
Type in Rothman and Ice wherever you get your podcasts. Download and subscribe.
Back to Rothman and Ice.
All right, back at it. So we've talked a lot about the draft, and nobody knows. It's so weird about the Browns right now. Are they going to take a quarterback at 2? Depends which one. Would they trade up, trade out, make the pick if it's Abdul Carter? Who knows? Joe DeLeon is on the case, NFL draft and college football analyst for A to Z Sports. Joe, welcome back.
Appreciate you guys having me.
So let's play this out at the top, because if you're the Browns and you want a quarterback badly, if you want Cam Ward, you got to call Tennessee and get up there and offer a second rounder or whatever you need to do to get up there. Let's tackle that one first. Would you anticipate the Browns doing that, or even the Giants of trying to get up there to take Cam Ward out of Tennessee's hands?
I think in a perfect world, I think both those teams would love for that to happen, because Cam Ward has separated himself as the clear best quarterback in the class. There's a pretty big tier break between him and Shedeur Sanders, because he actually has the potential to become a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. He has the arm. He's got the improvisational skills. He's got the poise. He's got the aggressiveness in his decision-making. But the problem is, this isn't an ideal world, and the Tennessee Titans seem as if they're really enamored with Cam Ward. It seems like since they brought him in for his visit after the NFL Combine, they started to fall more and more in love with him. And any reporting that you see, everything coming out of Tennessee seems to indicate that Cam Ward will be their guy. And I don't blame them. I think that for what Tennessee is trying to figure out the direction that they're going in for new front office, second year with the head coach of Brian Callahan, they're trying to build hope. They're trying to find a spark that's going to turn this team into a winning direction. And Cam Ward could eventually take them there. They've spent picks on rebuilding their offensive line. They need to get some more receivers. But there's a world in a couple of years that Tennessee offense could be phenomenal, and I think that they're smart enough to realize that.
Joe, the other day we were reacting to the news that, the Pittsburgh Steelers had met with Jalen Milroe, I believe, the night before Alabama's pro day. When you look at Jalen Milroe, the prospect right now, what do you see as far as his immediate future in the NFL? Is this a guy that can contribute right away, or is it something that you got to put on the sidelines a little bit and let it marinate?
Well, to be really specific to that first question you asked there, can he contribute right away? I think a smart offensive coordinator will try to work him in and get him onto the field and get him into rushing situations, read option type situations. My comparison for Jalen Milroe, his ceiling is Jalen Hurts. And if you remember when Jalen Hurts was picked by the Philadelphia Eagles and they already had Carson Wentz, they were getting Jalen Hurts on the field. He wasn't ready as a passer to step in, but they were just getting him into the mix and using him as an offensive weapon. And I think that whoever takes him is going to try and do that. We saw the crazy athleticism that he put up at his pro day. We know that he is not only a fast quarterback, but he's also a physical one. He's also got a big arm. Like, I think that's something that's really forgotten when we talk about him, that he has that upper category of arm strength to really drive the ball down the field and to be able to deliver the ball in the tight spaces. The problem is, though, is he's not ready to start full time. He's not there yet. He needs to bake a little bit. He needs a little bit of time to sit and to learn. I feel bad for him, seeing what he had gone through, just knowing that, like, he's got multiple years of multiple offensive coordinators, 2 different head coaches. It's hard to learn and to improve at the rate necessary to be ready to start right away in the NFL. Part of me wishes he went back to school. I think he would have had one more year of eligibility if he did so. But we saw a step forward working with Kalen DeBoer this season. I think that maybe in 2 years' time, if you are giving him a ton of patience, he could eventually contribute and become a starter. He's a very high ceiling prospect, but his floor right now is pretty low.
Joe DeLeon with us, A to Z Sports on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fangus Hotline. All right, let's play the game that Cam Ward's off the board. The Browns are there. And so now you get your choice. And you could go Abdul Carter, you could go Travis Hunter, you could go Shedeur Sanders. What do they do? What should they do?
I think that there's 2 different directions they go here. Personally, I think that Abdul Carter should be the pick, because if you're not fully in love with Shedeur Sanders and you're not blown away by everything that he's said and done in this pre-draft process. And more importantly, as we know that Shedeur Sanders and Deion Sanders want to be able to control where he lands. They've been so vocal about it. If he's not in love with being a Cleveland Brown, all of these different variables, he shouldn't be picked. When you're in the AFC and you have to face in the AFC North Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, and then you have to see if you make it to the playoffs, you have to see C.J. Stroud and Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. If you aren't able to have a prolific offense, why not create the most dangerous pass rush in the NFL? All of those guys would be flustered and slowed down in games to bring down their offensive production in order to keep games close. We saw this Browns team 2 years ago make it to the playoffs with Joe Flacco. And I would hope that in the next 2 years that they could find a better option than Joe Flacco to start for them if their defense ended up being the best in the NFL. Abdul Carter would turn that defense into one of the best in the league and eventually the best in the league, because you'd have a crazy formidable duo of Myles Garrett and Abdul Carter.
Tyrone McMillan from Arizona. It looked like some people, Joe, were impressed with his 40 time the other day, I believe, at their pro day or some type of workout. When you look at his game and you look at his physical traits, do you deem him a no doubt number 1 wide receiver in the NFL?
I don't, and we have to take with a grain of salt the pro day times, because it was, from my understanding, it was a hand time, and when we have the hand time and not the electric time, you're typically supposed to add a 0.08 to that time because there's human error involved. And he runs a 4.48. It's probably closer to a 4.5 number, which is what the expectation was for most people who evaluated his film. I think that Tyrone McMillan, I don't love this billing that people believe he's going to go on to become a team's number 1 option and to have this, immediate impact. I think he's T. Higgins. T. Higgins has been so successful at the Bengals because all the attention is on Jamar Chase. So T. Higgins gets one-on-one situations, and he's able to use his frame and his feet to win in contested situations and to come down with the ball. I think that Tyrone McMillan lands in an offense where they already have an established number 1 option. He would flourish. I love the idea of him going to the Dallas Cowboys at 12. If he ended up at the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb gets all the attention. And then you get to watch Tyrone McMillan cook and get those one-on-one spots where he's going to shine the most. If he goes to a team like I've seen him projected to the New England Patriots, that is too high for me. And two, I think there would be unrealistic expectations placed on his shoulders for him to have to be this immediate go-to option every single time Drake May drops back.
Joe, I don't think we had I don't think we had a first round back last year. We had Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs both go early in 23. And then I think if you go back another year, maybe Breece Hall was a second rounder. But is Gentry legit first round pick, upper half of the draft, or no?
No, absolutely. I would be really shocked if he made it past pick 15. I think that he falls into that rare category of running back prospect that is worthy of being an early first-round selection. You need to be exemplary at a lot of your tools and traits in order to be described as such. He has fantastic contact balance. He is so hard to bring down. He's got amazing vision, and he's got the burst to be a home run threat every single time he touches the football if he's given just a little bit of space. He can be a player on the right offense that's ready to take the next step. And I'm talking about like a team that's in the playoff conversation or who already has been in the playoffs. He has that ability to be a 1,500-yard back even as a rookie. I think that I look at teams picking in the top 15 that make the most sense, that are his best situations. The Chicago Bears, who just spent a lot of investment on their offensive line and boosting and improving their O-line, or the Dallas Cowboys, who we just talked about a second ago, who really need juice anywhere on offense, and especially in their run game. Their offensive line is very strong and reliable. They've invested early picks on them. I think that he could end up flourishing there with an already established quarterback situation and having CeeDee Lamb as the established best receiver on that team. But if you try to throw him into a team like the Raiders that are still rebuilding and their offensive line's getting reworked, I don't know if his success would be as immediate.
Great stuff, Joe. As always, we'll be talking again soon, man. Thanks, and have a great weekend.
Appreciate it, guys. Talk soon.
Good stuff with Joe DeLeon, A to Z Sports, covering the NFL Draft on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We will come back with Tell the Truth, and we'll update the brackets next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The madness is finally here. No, literally. It's here at Hollywood Casino Columbus at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. The Fan is throwing 24 hours of watch parties this glorious weekend. We even have our own custom shirts for you to win. The biggest screens, incredible food, and madness contests like horse and a three-point shootout. Grab your friends and your bracket and join the Fan at Hollywood Casino Columbus and the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Reserve a table at HollywoodColumbus.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Breaking
Never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. TNCs apply.
Montana, Bettis, Horning, and Brown, some of the greatest of all time, kicked off their careers in South Bend. You can celebrate Notre Dame football's impact on the professional game by visiting the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton to experience Gold Helmet to Gold Jacket March 14th through April 27th. And register to win our grand prize at 971thefan.com/Gold Jacket. One winner will receive 2 tickets to the Hall of Fame game, enshrinement ceremony, and the Hall of Fame Museum. That's 971thefan.com/Gold Jacket.
Scott the Scots here. How did the grass feel when it woke up from winter? A little crabby. Get it? Crabgrass? Right now, there's a short window of time to apply Scott's Turf Builder Halt's Crabgrass Preventer. It stops crabgrass before it invades and feeds your lawn for a fast green up after winter.
Save up to $20 today at the Home Depot or Lowe's for Scott's Day-Long Saving Time. Offers valid March 6th through 19th. See store for full details and product selection.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Hoops fans, are you ready to score big and get lucky this March?
What's up? It's T-Bone. I'm here to tell you that Bud Light will be holding mini hoops challenges at bars and restaurants across town over the next several weeks with one goal in mind.
To send one lucky local winner to Las Vegas where they'll compete for $10,000.
Take your shot at March Madness glory. This week, join Bud Light and watch some hoops on Saturday afternoon as they take over Pastimes Grandview and Grandview Yard. They'll be there from 2 to 6 p.m. and have a mini hoops basketball challenge
that'll give you a shot at a Vegas trip and $10,000.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown dumb since day one. The Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and spring's going to be here before you know it. I know it feels cold now, but before too long, you're going to be outside running around, jogging, wanting to do golf, explore time with your family, get outside and do the things you love. Just be active. And listen, a lot of my friends, they're asking me about QC Kinetics joint treatments. They want to know if they should consider it for their joint pain. And if you're wondering, maybe you could be a good candidate, let's see if the answer is yes to any of these questions. Quality of life impacted by chronic pain, knees, hips, back, shoulders, other things. Trouble sleeping, walking, day-to-day movement? Check. Next, avoiding surgery, the pain, the downtime? Check. Most importantly, do you miss doing the things I talked about when the spring and summer are here? Check. Don't wait. If you answered yes to one or any of those, you'd be a great candidate. You can go in there, go to QC Kinetics, ask for their free consultation, find out what it's all about, learn about the latest advances in regenerative medicine. They've got locations in Dublin and Gehenna, or you can go to qckinetics.com/Columbus, or better yet, call 380-208-4544.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
All right, let's give you a little bit of a, before we tell the truth, we'll give you the truth on the scores right now. And I wish I could tell you that Robert Morris could pull the upset, but it doesn't look like they're going to. There is still time. They're down 8 now with 2:24 to go in the game.
They hit a 3 just a moment ago. So, hey, you go down the floor, you get a stop, you come down, knock in another basket. It ain't over just yet.
No. 2:24 is an eternity in basketball. Iowa State, no problems with Lipscomb. They're up 16 early second half. And the game we knew that would be tight, Memphis and Colorado State. Memphis up a bucket with 3:15 to go first half.
And I did see Cooper Flagg in the warm-up line. He just went up and threw down a nice little dunk. So the freshman looks to be feeling pretty good. I guess when you're 18, 19 years old, those ankles and those body parts heal up pretty quickly.
So you're saying the wheelchair was a little overstated.
It's a little extra seasoning on it.
Well, he was pretty animated in the AT&T commercial he did for the tournament. I saw he was at like a senior center bingo game.
Yeah, I did see that. I did see that. Get the bag, Cooper. I'm not mad at it. But, yeah, he looks ready to go. And Grant Nelson, speaking of looking good, he just threw down a baseline dunk for Alabama.
Should have been teed for hanging on the rim.
That put him up. Put him up 10 points.
There was nobody under him. He was swinging on it.
These kids
like it was the uneven bars.
Let them have fun, man. Let them have fun.
No, I'm all right with having fun, but it's either a rule or it isn't. Then get it out. Then get the rule out.
Yeah, I don't care. Hang on the rim all you want. I don't care. But, yeah, Bama's up 81-71. About 2 minutes to go.
All right, I'll start with the tournament for my first question. Will either North Carolina or Xavier keep alive the play-in team to the round of 32 stat?
I'm not taking the bait on North Carolina. I know Davis was awesome in that game down in Dayton when he hit 5 or 6 threes. Oh, man. I'm going to go no, CB.
We get 2 to make 1. We're at the line. 2 to make 1. Then I'll take the bait. I will.
Well, then you got to tell me who's doing it.
Feels more like Carolina to me. That recipe of hearing that the nation said you didn't belong in the tournament, which you didn't mean you weren't talented. Means over your body of work, you didn't prove enough to be deserving of your at-bat, and they took that, and they got a chance. I mean, they're still an 11 seed. What is Xavier? Same?
They're both 11s.
Both 11s. Illinois hasn't really been a model of consistency, and I think Carolina's as good as Ole Miss right now. So, yeah, I'll take the bait. One of them will get there.
Just remember, it's not a lie
if you believe it.
All right, ESPN.com has Amari Cooper as a top 3 remaining free agent in the NFL. The question is, tell the truth. Do you believe that?
Remaining free agent? Yeah. And I'm not telling you that I would be able to name the offensive.
Stephon Diggs was number 2.
Oh,
and then there was a quarterback at 1. I forget who it was.
Probably Rodgers, if I had to guess, CB. No?
I would say probably
Free agent? Jameis? Russ?
Asante?
No, Asante, I believe, was 4. I'm going to look it up real quick.
The quarterback he's talking about.
Corner.
No, corner.
My bad.
Corner.
Okay, I thought you said quarterback. Okay.
When you said corner, Asante Samuel Jr. came to my mind. He's not in there? Oh, he's 4th? Huh. Okay. He's young.
Amari. Is it Kendall Fuller, CB? Is that the name you're looking for?
I don't believe it was. Let me keep on looking.
Rasul Douglas?
That's who it was.
Is he in there?
Rasul
Okay.
Douglas was number 1.
It might. I mean, Amari. Like, of the receivers that are still out there are Diggs, Keenan Allen. Brandon Cooks just signed with the Saints again today. But he's talking about of the entire pool?
Entire pool, the answer I would say is no. The receivers, I would say yes.
Yeah, I would too. Because it's Amari, Keenan Allen, and Diggs.
Yeah.
Those are the guys. I'm going to say yes, though. I think he is in that top 3 for me.
He's a big dude who can go downfield, catch the football. He's a guy who can lift an offense. Yep.
And that, my boy, is a damn truth.
All right, next up, name an NFL prospect that would shock us on night 1 and fall out of the first round.
The shock of all shockers, which would not happen, for me would be Shedeur. He's not slipping out of the first round. I would highly doubt it. The semi-shock would be who I just asked Joe about, which I think Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
It sounds like I just asked. He said he's almost a lock to be in the upper half. Yeah. He said if he passed, 15, he'd be very surprised. Mm-hmm. He might even be top 10. So if he starts slipping, I'll go with those two. Shedeur would be just mind-blowing.
Genty's a great call because I've seen him go as high as 6 to the Raiders. So but
he's a running back
out there. He is, right? But you know what? I think, when Ashton Genty gets his name called early, he should give a shout out to Saquon and Derrick Henry for what they just did. Because I think that kind of reassured some GMs and scouting departments that maybe we were a little too harsh on that running back position a couple off seasons ago. CB, I'm going to go with a guy that I think was an absolute lock to be a first round, and if he slid out, would be Mason Graham for Michigan. There seems to be a lot of love for him out there. There's a heavy defensive presence, I think, that's going to happen in the first round. So, I'll go Mason Graham. He slides out of the first round, I'd be very surprised.
Just find out right now today is true.
Maybe
all right,
they'll cite his short arms.
There you go. Let's edit the fan poll a little bit. It's sponsored by Caster Connection. Through the first day and change because games have started. How is your bracket looking? Is it still perfect? So far, so good? Mediocre? Or absolutely terrible?
I think because of this Bama win, I think I'm going to be so far, so good. If Bama would have lost this thing, it would have been absolutely terrible. So I'm in the so far, so good camp, CB. Your boy's doing all right now.
I mean, if you want to talk about that, you still have all your Elite 8 left, and I guess so far, so good. I think mine's in the middle between mediocre and so far, so good. I took the bait on the ACC. I bought into Clemson. And to watch them get hammered and, I guess, try to come all the way back and rescue that thing, but that's kind of brutal. Louisville gone, too. I bought into the home crowd and whether that could be an advantage, so that's toast for me. It's not horrible. Like I said, if you've got your Elite 8, if you didn't go out on a limb and take something crazy, and I was advising, I just don't know how anybody could. Let's think about who's lost that you would have had going to the Elite 8. Who's lost that you would have had going to the Elite 8?
I know there were some people that really liked Clemson, honestly.
So it's really only one. So if your bracket right now is that bottom choice, what's the bottom choice on the poll?
Absolutely terrible.
Okay. If it's absolutely terrible, then you're absolutely terrible because no one's really left this thing. Thank you. Oh, man.
Why would you worry?
All right, let's finish up with the Would You Rather. Would you rather be the oldest person in the office or the youngest?
Oh, God. I don't know.
Well, you'd always rather be young. All right, let's just get that out right away. You'd always rather be young no matter where you are, I think. What old gives you is I don't give a blank sometimes because you're closer to the end than the beginning. So I think that maybe that would be the choice.
Yeah, I'll go young as CB. I'll go.
The truth shall set you free.
Hey, if you missed anything from our show, don't worry. Wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 will be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the Rothman and Ice podcast as well. Coming up on Common Man and T-Bone. Timmy Hall in the house today for T-Bone. And look, they're going to talk jackets because why not? That's all the good stuff to talk about. Jackets and brackets coming up next with Common Man and Timmy.
And I am looking at a half-empty bottle of Cavatier, which means that we are just about out of time.
Indeed we are. It should be a great weekend. We'll watch the brackets. We'll come back in. We'll analyze that. Hopefully the Jackets get back into this thing, as you said, Maddie. And everybody have just an awesome weekend. CB, feel a little better. He grinded through today. He's a little under the weather.
It's his Jordan flu game.
He's got the bracket. He's got the bracket flu game going.
Yeah, he does.
Too bad he didn't call in a little earlier today.
Who's that on your hoodie today, CB? Say
Puddles.
That's right.
It is Puddles.
That's right.
Just wanted to hear you guys say it.
All right, enjoy the weekend. Stay safe. Rothman and Ice out.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony, and I've got a fitting personalized for you. From the moment you walk in the Good Feet store, they're going to take the time to understand your unique lifestyle, your daily routines, and most importantly, the pain that brought you in to see them in the first place. If your feet ache after a long day or that discomfort starts radiating through your knees, your hips, your back, I've been there. The Good Feet store is going to help you where you need relief and find the arch supports that work best for you. And they're working for me. I walked all over the place in New Orleans covering the big game. I was loving it. I literally was walking for miles around the French Quarter, Canal Street, everywhere, because I had my personally fit arch supports in my shoes. For more than 30 years, the Good Feet store has helped thousands of people get back to feeling comfort on a daily basis. I want you to be one of them. Go in, take the free test walk. They're immediately available. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or goodfeet.com.
At Diamonds Direct, we believe luxury is an experience and not a price tag. Luxury is expert guidance. It's the selection of 10 jewelry stores under one roof. It's saving time on endless comparison shopping, and you'll only find this experience at Diamonds Direct. Our luxury showroom has it all backed by our lifetime warranties and our signature best price guarantee. Diamonds Direct is the perfect combination of luxury and value, so you don't ever have to compromise. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
Hi, this is Bob Masheter from Dick Masheter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at masheterford.net. Thanks.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and spring is here, and it's time to refresh your yard with Ohio Mulch. With 15 convenient locations in Central Ohio, it's easier than ever to get mulch ready for the season. Now through April 5th, get 5 bags of red, black, or brown mulch for just $10.95. Need it delivered? No problem. Save $50 on home delivery when you order online. Visit OhioMulch.com today and spruce up your yard with the best.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply, cleaner, greener, better.
A pepperoni pizza for the table.
Thank you.
May I suggest trying it with our Pepsi Zero Sugar? It has just the right amount of sweetness to complement all that cheesy, saucy goodness, while the carbonation and notes of citrus enhance the flavor profile. Simply divine.
Pepsi Zero Sugar? You've really outdone yourself this time.
Pizza deserves Pepsi.
When you're a AAA member, we do the hard stuff for you. So, picture this. You're taking a road trip through the mountains at night, and you run out of gas. Do you, A, call AAA, or B, walk 29 miles to the nearest gas station in the pouring rain?
A?
On the plus side, get more with AAA. Go to AAA.com/plus side.
He shoots, he scores! No matter your sport, it's a great time of year to be a fan. But the fun stops when you or a loved one can't control your gambling. At Maryhaven, we're here to help. Whether it's gambling, drugs, alcohol, or mental health, you don't have to go it alone. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven meets you where you are. Always judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
Broadcasting